Thank you very much, Stephen. I'm just going to get the tech. Third Pecha Kucha that I've been at, and the only time I've been able to hold my own clicker. So this is a banner night for me. I wanted to echo the acknowledgement of the territory, the unceded traditional territory of the Tsleil-Waututh, and we have Reuben George here tonight with us, Musqueam Nation and the Squamish Nation, and to say that as a city, we are extremely grateful for the welcome that they give us to the territory, as well as the willingness to enter into good faith discussions about how we reconcile their title and rights on this territory. So my name is Andrea Reimer. I am Deputy Mayor, and on behalf of Gregor Robertson City Council and the important special guests in the audience, thank you all for giving up an evening tonight for this discussion. In 2009, Vancouver made a commitment to be the greenest city on Earth by the year 2020, one of those big goals that we were talking about. 10 years, 10 environmental policy areas, 15 targets, all focused on one goal. So over the last 6 years, we've directly and deeply engaged over 35,000 residents and 180 organizations to undertake more than 150 different policy initiatives. This year is the halfway point, and we are getting very strong results. We have seen an 18% reduction in water consumption, as well as an 18% reduction in waste going to landfill or incinerator. We have a 10% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions per capita. We're now at 4.02 tons per person. In Toronto, by comparison, same country, different city, is at 7.2 tons per person. And overall, our emissions have fallen 7%, even while population and jobs have grown, including green jobs, which have grown by 19% since we started this initiative in 2009. So that's not even actually the best news. The most exciting news, this past year, in May 2015, we reached our 2020 goals for transportation. In 6 years, we've moved to the position where now more than half of all trips made in the city of Vancouver are made by biking, walking, or transit, and we've exceeded the goal for vehicle kilometers traveled. So when we started this initiative in 2009, despite great efforts, strong efforts by previous councillors, we were so irrelevant on the global rankings that we didn't even rate. I could not give you a comparison number. However, this past year, 2014, Vancouver is now ranked as the 4th greenest city on Earth, despite being located in a country that is not even close to 4th. Which brings me to a couple of challenges. So Vancouver is in the unfortunate geographic position of being the final city between the Alberta tar sands and the markets that the tar sands seeks. You may have heard about a company called Kinder Morgan. They have a proposal, the Trans Mountain Pipeline proposal, to increase shipments of tar sands oil through Vancouver, Burnaby, Tsleil-Waututh territory, Musqueam territory, Squamish territory, a 7-fold increase in the amount of oil coming through here. Diluted tar sands, actually, but let's call it oil for the sake of argument. This obviously carries risk. It carries health risk, it carries legal risk, it carries financial risk, it carries environmental risk, but it also carries a very big economic risk. As part of our research into the submission we made to the National Energy Board, which is the body reviewing whether or not to recommend approval of the pipeline, the City of Vancouver looked at both the immediate economic risk and the long-term economic risk. We found that the direct negative impacts of oil spills would need to be measured in years and decades, not weeks or months, and in billions of dollars, not millions or hundreds of thousands. But one of the most unexpected impacts is to our city brand. And because they can explain it way better than I can, here's a video from our friends at the Vancouver Economic Commission.
People love cities. They love Rome for the history, Paris for the romance, LA for the movies, and Vancouver for being green. Vancouver is a great place to live, work, play, connect, and innovate. What you may not know, we're a competitive city with one of the world's leading tech ecosystems. We also have a brand with a name people recognize. What does that mean? We have a reputation and image that impacts people around the world. Last year, Brand Finance, a leading brand valuation agency, set out to see what the world thinks of Vancouver and its brand. 6 leading cities around the Pacific Rim were compared using a brand strength index. They looked at what each city spends on its people and infrastructure, its economic performance, and global perceptions. Vancouver had one of the strongest brands with an AA- grade and a value of over $31 billion US. People surveyed from around the world also saw Vancouver as uniquely green, clean, and sustainable. We've made a big name for ourselves from setting ambitions like becoming the world's greenest city by 2020 and now being powered entirely by renewable energy by 2050. But like all cities, we are susceptible to shocks. If something damaged our city, like a major oil spill, it wouldn't just harm people and the environment, it could impact our reputation. Our brand value alone could be impaired by up to $3 billion US. What's at risk? The quality of our life, our environment, and our ability to keep and attract people, companies, and investment. We've worked hard to make Vancouver green and economically competitive. So, if you've never been to Vancouver, come visit. If you're here, keep making our city special. Visit vancouvereconomic.com and vancouver.ca/brand to discover how you can become part of Vancouver's story.
Okay, so hopefully they explained it better than I could. So we know now that green is good for business and liquid tar is bad for business in the city of Vancouver. So what can we do about it? We can use our voices, but we can also take action. While municipal governments understand reduction targets, national governments have treated them as a call to arms. I almost said action. I can't believe I would have gotten that wrong. A call to arms. As long as there is any percentage left on the table to argue about, that's exactly what happens. We talk about a 33% reduction, everyone wants access to the 66. We talk about a 50%, we argue over who gets access to the 50. We felt we needed to do our part to change the narrative of climate change to one of mutually assured survival. So earlier this year, Vancouver made the commitment to shift to 100% renewable energy from all sources for transportation, for electricity, and heating and cooling. That might seem a bit impossible, but it is really not. Consider that we're already at 31% of all energy in Vancouver from renewable sources, including 93% of all electricity. And we are nowhere near the first city, even on this continent, to make this commitment. The first city was actually a Republican area in Kansas, Greensburg, because this is not an ideological issue, it is a practical one. New Climate Economy, led by former Mexican President Felipe Calderon, also a notable conservative, lays out a clear case for the economics of 100% renewable energy-powered cities. He says, investing in public and low-emission transport, building efficiency, and waste management in cities could generate savings with the current value of US $17 trillion by the year 2050. With complementary national policies, hopefully we have a new government by 2050, such as support by low-carbon innovation, reduce fossil fuel subsidies, and carbon pricing, the savings could be as high as $22 trillion US. So we have two choices. As a city, we can be early adopters that reap the benefits of being among the first to be all in, the Standard Oil, the General Motors of the renewable age, if you will, or we can fight to own an old fossil fuel economy, and we can be like the horse and buggy, an obsolete relic that was unable to adapt to a new reality. So why are we here tonight? Because the very simple secret of Greenest City's success is you. The reason we own a $31 billion brand is because of you. Just as Greenest City was the product of thousands of people across the city, 100% renewable needs to be the product and owned by you as well. We want your ideas, we need your passion, and most of all, we want your energy. No pun intended. I have great hopes for the federal election because I'm here as an elected official on behalf of the City of Vancouver. I won't tell you what they are, but no matter who wins, we will need to continue to use our voices. Whether or not we need to continue to fight against something remains to be seen, but I can guarantee you no matter who wins the election, we need to fight for something. And that something is the story we tell ourselves about what it means to be a Vancouverite. We have an old story, that we are hewers of wood, carriers of water, diggers of things, that we are children who can't get stuff done without help from our parents in Victoria or Ottawa. This story does not represent the reality of who we are. We are tenacious entrepreneurs. We are the most deeply rooted dreamers. We are people who create something out of nothing every single day. We are adults with friends and colleagues in cities all over the world who treat us as equals, and in many cases, sometimes, treat us as heroes as they marvel at what we've all been able to create together. We get things done with mutual aid, mentorship, and getting a whole lot of people to chip in what they can. That is the story of this place. I am very proud to be here tonight to celebrate with you what we've achieved so far and to continue to write the future with you. With a couple of last notes, everything you hear tonight will be a surprise to all of us, hopefully, except for the people saying it know what they're going to say. We wanted to give them the space to share their ideas and work and to inspire you all to chip in. They may not always represent the opinions of the City of Vancouver, disclaimer, but they do represent the diversity and the story of our city. So please listen, please learn, and via a little surprise tonight in honor of Vancouver Startup Week, please check out the new tool on Wand2. Thanks to Mike Tippett, Wand2 founder, who's here tonight, somewhere out in the dark. The address is up there on the slide. Please speak up and let's own the future together. Thank you very much.